It's just horrific. At age 12, he concocts this giant story that he needs my help with. And it ends up with me being at his house. And driving to his house, he picked me up down at the lake area. I'm freaking out going back to the house. And we get there, and the house was boiling. It was a summer day, but the house was excruciatingly hot inside. Almost, as I look back on it now, I wonder if he didn't have the heat turned on. And we get in there, and he has me chug blackberry brandy. And then he fills it up again. Come on, have another blackberry. And I was so nervous going back to that house, I actually wanted to have a drink. And a Budweiser, my second glass of blackberry brandy. And we end up on his bed. And we end up with our clothes off. And I end up with him behind me in a bear hug with him behind me. And he starts raping me. And I start screaming and I start crying. I grew up as an altar boy in the Episcopal Church. But in that moment, I wondered where God was. God didn't come to strike this piece of garbage down as he's raping me, and I'm crying. I'm screaming, I'm crying, and this fuck whispers in my ear, my 12-year-old ear, just another minute so he can finish himself off. I felt like the only person on the face of the planet. I know people feel alone sometimes in their life, they isolate themselves. At that moment, I felt like I was the only person on the face of the planet. Nobody heard my screams, nobody came to my rescue. It was just me and this evil entity raping me. And what happened next, to me, was worse than the rape that just occurred. He sat me down, cleaned me up like a nice guy, sat me down at his kitchen table, got me a beer, like two lovers who just, had a great romantic experience and, let's have a beer afterwards. And he had what's called a coon dog. Coon dogs have a long, drawn-out howl. And his dog heard my cries and screams during the rape and started howling and would not stop howling. Dennis went and got his dog, brought it right in front of me, and said, I want to show you what will happen if you ever open up your mouth about what just occurred. And he took his big, meaty fist and he started punching his dog. And I'm screaming, Dennis, please stop. And he's punching. And his dog lay in a heap at my feet. And to me, that was worse than the rape because I felt responsible for that dog because it was only howling because of my cries. The guy I looked up to next to my father the most has just done the unthinkable. Now he's beaten his dog to death, unconscious, to ensure my silence. He dropped me off down at the lake, reiterated, don't you say a word. And I didn't want to be near the dam area where all the kids hung out. So I ran down the river with my bike. I ditched it in the weeds and I ran down the river. And I just was rocking along the river, hugging myself. And at that moment, my 12-year-old mind said, we are never going to talk about this. Talking about it is equal to reliving it, and we definitely don't want to relive what just happened. I had gotten a dirt bike for Christmas the previous year, and I wanted to avoid going down near the dam area at all costs.